Greetings from Paul Levy from Fringe Review, taking a fairly early morning walk up the grass market in Edinburgh a couple of days before the Fringe starts. And this is just a video for the audience, for people looking for shows to see at the Edinburgh Fringe, and particularly for people who are newbies here for the first time. We're all on tight budgets probably coming up to the Edinburgh Fringe. If you're staying up here, you may well have been shocked about how much you've had to pay, be that for Airbnb and particularly for hotels. In Edinburgh, a travel lodge can go into hundreds of pounds. You might just be coming in for a day trip. In all cases, there are ways of not having to spend any money or just spending less money at the Edinburgh Fringe. The first port of call is going to be the edfringe.com website, looking particularly for the 2-for-1 offer days and where there might be other offers. They encourage you, if you're a regular, to become a friend of the Edinburgh Fringe, where you can get discounts on shows. If you're just up for a little while, see if there are any 2-for-1 performances, and see if there are any special offers, which there often are, for people who live locally, trying to encourage people to come in to make the travel costs and the venue costs a bit cheaper to see a show. So just go on edfringe.com and just click on what the special offers are. Venues do that too, so you might want to look there as well. There are kind of competitions in some of the magazines like The List and Skinny and Fest magazine, and other websites sometimes also doing competitions and special offers and so on. Perhaps another way is simply to be flyered. Now, you might find that everybody's quite hopeful on the first few days of the Fringe, so they're just giving out flyers, but when it starts to land, that people are still trying to boost their box offices, or may have discovered that the pre-sales of their tickets aren't as great as they like. You'll find them out particularly on the Royal Mile. They fly outside venues like Assembly, Gilded Balloon, the Space UK, zoo venues, Greenside. There are smaller venues but still with lots of shows. Down here on the grass market, there's a couple of venues, of course, Underbelly. You'll find that people are flying literally with tickets in their hands, and that you can literally just take a ticket and get in free. I would invite you to meet the spirit of that and actually go to the show you've taken a ticket for, because that is a ticket they can't sell to anyone else. So don't take it if you're not likely to go. And they're hoping you might recommend it if you like it, so tell your friends and so on. But there will be quite a lot of free tickets and offers coming out, again, 2-for-1s, buy one get one free, all kinds of stuff happening throughout the Fringe. And what's happening this year is that more and more shows are just playing for a week. And what that essentially means is that after a week, a bunch of shows go home, new ones arrive, and the same thing will repeat itself. And so you might want to come later in the Fringe. There's hundreds of shows arriving in the last week of the Edinburgh Fringe, and it might be a little bit cheaper to stay. I would check all that out, but certainly, again, walk up the Royal Mile, George Street in the New Town, lots and lots of places. You will see someone standing there, and even if they're not holding a ticket in their hand and you show interest, they might pull one out and say, here's a free ticket. What they might invite you to do is to buy a couple of tickets, and then you'll get a couple free given to you. So social media is another place to find out when people are saying they're going to, and the term you probably have heard of is they'll comp you in. In some ways that's a bit sad, in that the shows have paid lots of money to be up here in a lot of cases. So if you can, particularly in the free Fringe, and what we've got are 2 free Fringes. We've got Laughing Horse Comedy runs it, and PBH's free Fringe. Lots and lots of venues all over the city, plenty down on Cowgate. Is they invite you to pay on the way out, and what that involves is a bucket, and what that's involving more recently, of course, isn't just a bucket for cash, but they've got the little tipping machines where you could just put whatever money you like. They will often suggest some money, but you genuinely also can, if you can't afford it, and I think most performers are happy, is you can walk out having just enjoyed the show. And one thing you can do if you did enjoy the show and you can't afford to put some money in the bucket is just share that good news around and see if somebody else who might be able to afford it can come and see that show too. So the free Fringe has got literally hundreds of shows. They have their own apps, they have their own websites, and many, if not most, also register at edfringe.com, so they're on the Ed Fringe app as well. Obviously the apps are really useful for finding out venues that have got free tickets. But ultimately the same thing will happen. They'll be flyering outside their venues nearby, and in the case of the Free Fringe, I guess you take the risk by not being able to buy a ticket. I mean, you can buy tickets for some of the shows online as well, but you know, you might find it's full up. But usually if they're standing outside a venue and saying come see my show, it's because they want to fill a venue that is not full up. So lots and lots of different ways. Look for the special offers, go to the Free Fringe and get flyered at, particularly a few days into the Fringe, but also at the end of each week and the beginning of the second week at the Edinburgh Fringe. More and more shows are arriving, and more than ever they're going to be flyering too, and you may well find you get some really good offers, even onto some free tickets to go. I've reached the end of the grass market. It's interesting, it's kind of quiet here in terms of only a couple of people have flyed me, and then it's just all going to kick off when the first day of the Fringe happens, which here in 2025 is the 1st of August. Enjoy your Fringe and go see lots of different stuff you wouldn't normally see. Be prepared to be surprised.